Okay, so this is part two of my interview with Christopher Moore. Thanks for speaking with me again today. So we had stopped talking about you had just moved. You were leaving Vancouver. You mentioned, going to Miss T's, going to some of the bars in Strathcona, working trades jobs. I think we were talking about. You said you moved there in 1987. Can you kind of
Yeah.
give me a sense of maybe the last year in Vancouver and then moving out out to the rural area?
Well, I was working in trades in queer community in a queer neighborhood. I was working for a workers-owned co-op, food distributor, health food distributor, and met a woman at the time and fell in love and knew that we both really wanted to leave Vancouver and live somewhere. And she had been to Nelson before and knew some women's community here, and so we decided to come for a weekend and for me to check it out. And when we did, it was really clear that we both wanted to live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about it, like, specifically made you want to go there? I mean, like, I've been there about a year ago, and it, definitely had a much more progressive feel to it. But can you remember, other details that made you two want to move out there?
Well, I think, we both wanted to live rurally or near a small town, and both being queer, we wanted to have some kind of queer context, or queer community, and there wasn't really other small towns or areas that had that. I think we would have been very isolated if we had lived somewhere else. So that was important to us. And then for me, what was important was the lakes and the mountains, and how beautiful it was here. Sure. It was a little different for me when I first came here. For sure, I really didn't like Nelson that much. It was very white.
Yeah.
And I was used to living in an area where there were many cultures. Always lived urban. Went to a high school with 97% blacks and Hispanics. And it was just so odd to me. And at the same time, we just decided to go for it, I guess. But my initial feeling about it was like, oh, I don't know, it seemed pretty yuppie for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. And that was in 90, so it's a lot yuppier, if there is even that word anymore. And so quickly, we, within, let's see, how long was it? 3 years, maybe? Yeah, 3 or 4 years. We had, dissolved our relationship, and then I got involved with a group of people that we were wanting to start a land co-op, and so I got involved with that. For 17 years, built microhydro system, lived off the grid for all of it.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
And it was all women, and during that time, I actually, in the early 90s, 93, I guess, 93, 94, I identified as transgender at that time, and knew I was going to move in a direction that honored my gender. So, and of course, came out to everyone at the co-op, and that was okay. One of the members, it wasn't. but they were moving off the land anyway. They were pretty steeped in being separatist.
Yeah.
So it didn't work with who they are. And then I moved to, at the time I hadn't met anyone who identified as trans.
Mm-hmm.
That language, and I was going to do medical process. Oops. So you're...
Sorry, I think that was mine. Sorry about that.
That's okay. And so in order for me to do the medical route and wanting to do it in a just wanting to do it through the gender clinic, because it seemed like the only way that I could figure out how to do it above board.
Yeah.
Just finding doctors that knew what they were doing, and I really wanted to go that route. So I actually moved to, at the time they wanted me to mandate or rules around it all, where that you had to go to the clinic for once a month for a year before you could even get hormones. And that was pretty impossible for me to live in the Kootenays and go to Vancouver once a month.
Yeah. My gosh.
In terms of finances and everything else. So I decided to move to Victoria for a couple years. And because Vancouver was closer and I had some community there anyway, some friends, and I had heard of one trans man there. That was kind of just coming out at that time too. So I wanted to be, pre-internet, wanted to be around others that were physically going through the process that I was going to go through, and I wanted to see it and smell it and touch it.
Of course, yeah.
And so I did that, and then after 2 years, really decided that I wanted to come back to Nelson, and I think, during that time in Victoria, I kind of started a little support group for trans guys, and really got it how valuable that was for me personally, and also knowing and seeing how it was for others. And when I came back to Nelson, I went to Anchors, which is the Hep C HIV organization in town, to see if I could use their space and open up a group, calling it Gender Outlaws. And at the time, there was like one other person that was identifying, and then I just held space. We did it once a week for years, and about 6 years, and then there was like more and more. Just people started coming. We did a lot of different things in that group. It wasn't just support. It was like also we did work around making bathrooms so accessible in Nelson.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Social things. Getting the word out. And then I just, for me, slowly started growing about wanting to have services here for people who wanted to go through the physical or a medical process. So I started, searching out doctors and therapists, and just did it all slowly. And then I started to do some trans 101 workshops for service providers, just kind of developed it all on my own, and just kind of offering it to people that, I had started to get relationships with in our communities.
Yeah.
And then it just kept getting bigger and bigger for me, because I was doing it all on a volunteer basis. And then I went, so my ideas were to, have a place where people could get support and resources, and we could do lots of more education in our communities. And I thought of it in a way like the whole East and West Kootenays, because I had that area too is just so isolated with mountains all around. So.
Yeah.
So I went to the executive director and talked to her about my ideas, and she was like really on board with trying to see if we could get funding. So she just handed it over to me and just said, try